Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is Wednesday, December 11th, 2024. That is a long time. More than 4.5 years of Torah every single weekday morning. It's broadcast 1194. Thank you, Penny. Susie, it's good to see you. Rose and Rachel, good morning, my friend. It's good to see you. Linda, Boker Tov. We find each other every morning to learn something, to lift each other, to say good morning to each other. Kate, it's good to see you. Peter, your wife Malu and you are together. That's so sweet. So nice to meet you. We love Peter. We must love you too. Barry and Anya, Amy and Sharon, Siona and Carl, Debbie and Judy, good morning. Yes, it is broadcast 1194. It is also day 432 of this war. We are present together as a family, showing up, praying, mobilizing, acting, and shouting to heaven for the release of the rest of our family. Kim and Chana, Arlene and Jonathan, Minna and Carl, Boker Tov. Cecile and Haley, Marcia, Lydia, Jack, good morning. Arlene and Catherine. Catherine sending love to Australia. Hi, everybody. Hi. I hope you and yours are safe and well. Let's take a breath, get ready to sing a blessing, learn some Torah. Blair, it's good to see you. Miss you. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Natalia. Hi, Corinne. Okay. Here we go. Should probably pick up the guitar. Almost forgot. Catherine, you were in the hospital with a toxic spider bite in your foot. I didn't know, and I'm so sorry. I'm glad that you're well, and welcome back. More important than getting the bracha started on the first attempt. Really, really glad you're here and glad that you're healing. So, good morning, everyone. Really glad that you're here. And David, welcome back from the cruise. Glad to be here in real time with you. I want to take a moment. I wasn't planning on talking about this. I have something from the Parsha that I wanted to address. But, Catherine, your return and letting us know that you weren't well is actually an important indication of what we've known for some time, 4.5 years plus, that this is a real and intentional community. And I want to use an example of the different uses of social media and a rabbinic experience. This isn't for the sake of therapy, it is for the sake of sharing. And so if it heals me just a little bit to share the story, fine, but that's not the point. When I was a pulpit rabbi for 16 years in two different places, in Boston and then in Berkeley, California, there was a time, because I'm very active on social media, that someone in my shul came up to me and said, "I'm really mad at you." And I remember saying, "I'm so sorry. Why are you mad?" They said, "Well, I'm angry because you didn't call me about my son's broken elbow." And I said, well, I didn't know that your son had a broken elbow. Is he okay? She said, yes, he's fine, but you should have known. I said, but I didn't know. How would I have known? She said, because I put it on Facebook. And so, what I want to say is that though some of us are on Facebook right now, the difference between social media and an intentional community that we share, even on social media, using the platform, is significant. Throwing out to the world something that's going on for me, well, maybe I'll hear from some people. But in a real community, and I hope Instagram is serving for in that way for those who are joining there. But on this Facebook group, where often I'm watching people share what's going on in our lives and we can be present with each other, it's because we have decided to be part of a community. And that community is, as some of us are pointing out, very supportive. I hope that you will continue to share what's going on in your life. And friends, I hope that you will continue to offer comfort to anyone who acknowledges that something is going on for them, and you'll reach out to them when we're not having our live broadcast. There have been connections made across the world between people, and that is enough reason for us to have created this community 1,194 broadcasts ago. That's not a commercial. That is asking you to show up as you have, as a real community, as intentional community, and to double down on what Valerie is amplifying from what I just said. Please, friends, make connections with each other offline. If you can meet up in person, noch besser, as they say in Yiddish. So good. Let's learn a little bit of Torah. This is a parsha of transformation. Every Torah portion is a gift, even if it can be a harsh gift sometimes. But this Torah portion, VaYishlach, is a moment where we become a people in the smallest form, which means through the transformation of our ancestor Jacob into Yisrael, his new name. We become. We become. And I want to go through that story really quickly, but I want to encourage you to look at chapter 32 of the book of Breshit, the book of Genesis, and you will find some amazing stuff. This is where Jacob's coming from at first. He is scared, if you remember, because his long estranged brother Esav is on the way with 400 men. And we, the readers, and Jacob, the character, and generations of lovers of Torah, have always felt the trepidation of Esau's arrival, of Esav's arrival, because 400 men is usually a way of describing in the Torah a fighting force. What does it mean for Jacob to prepare for the arrival of his long estranged brother who swore to kill him? Here we are, with Jacob in his nervousness. He divides up the camp and says explicitly, if they attack, at least half of us will survive. What a horrible reality. What a horrible worry. What a terror in Jacob's heart. And this happens next. It's important to know what's happening in and around him for us to have this empathy, sympathy. Vayivater Yaakov levado, vaye'avek ish imo ad alot hashachar. Jacob was left alone, and a figure wrestled with him until the break of dawn. And now these pronouns are ambiguous. Don't think that it's you. The pronouns are ambiguous. When he saw that he had not prevailed against him. Okay, continue. He wrenched Jacob's hip at its socket, so that the socket of his hip was strained as he wrestled with him. Then he said, let me go, for dawn is breaking. But he answered, I will not let you go unless you bless me. Said the other, what is your name? And he said, Jacob. Said he, your name shall no longer be Jacob, but Yisrael, for you have striven with beings divine and human and have prevailed. I want you to hear the Hebrew for that because it makes much more sense. Od shimcha lo Yaakov. Sorry, Vayomer lo Yaakov Ya'amer od shimcha. Yaakov will no longer be your name. Ki im Yisrael, but Yisrael. Now hear the word Yisrael and the explanation in the Hebrew. Ki sarita im el ohim, because you struggled with gods and with men, and you have survived. And then Jacob says, tell me your name. But he said, you must not ask my name. And he took leave of him here. So, sharing a few different thoughts. And I really encourage you to look at Genesis 32 yourself. Susie asks, so if his name was changed, and the name change says, no longer shall your name be Jacob, why is he still referred to as Jacob in certain parts of the Torah? It's a great question. And what we find is that, and the rabbis talk about this a lot, just because his name changed doesn't mean there aren't elements of who he once was. Let me jump to the present moment and then jump back to the text. Jumping to the present moment. Please God, someday soon, we will emerge into a moment when we will look back at the events of October 7th and their aftermath, which we're in right now. And we will look back because we have continued growing and living. But we will know, especially those of us who were intricately involved in this community, that's all of us. We will know where we were on that day. We will know the work that we have done since. We will always be carrying that essence, that part of us that was scarred forever and maybe grew even stronger because of what we've been through. There's no comparing pain to pain, but as someone who's been a New Yorker a very long time and was present in Manhattan on 9/11, I know where I was that day. Who I am today is very different from the person I used to be before that day. And that person I used to be is still within me. Why is he still referred to as Jacob? Because he is still somewhere deep inside of him, and sometimes right on the surface, Jacob. But this moment of transformation is significant, and it's because he wrestled. And I want to point to one element of that wrestling. That one element. But in order to get to it, I have to point out a curiosity in the text. Listen to verse 25 in English. Jacob was left alone. A figure wrestled with him until the break of dawn. If he was left alone, who was he wrestling with? I want to say it again. If he was Yaakov levado, Jacob all alone, who was he wrestling with? Here are the answers from Rashi. He's quoting from two places in the Talmud and one ancient midrash. If you're curious, you can look it up on Sefaria. I'll tell you it is Masechet Sanhedrin, the book of Sanhedrin, Masechet Menachot, the book of Menachot, and an ancient collection of midrash on the book of Genesis called Breshit Rabbah. I'm just going to read you Rashi's comment. There are three suggestions about, well, who was this man? Anya, you're already pointing to one of the suggestions. Menachem ben Seruk, an ancient rabbi, explained from the word vaye'avek, he wrestled with. It also is from the word avak, dust. It would mean that they were raising the dust with their feet through their movements. Do you ever see a scene, or if you've ever been moving fast in the desert, it kicks up dust when you move quickly, and if they were wrestling, then perhaps this is why it says vaye'avek ish imo. They kicked up the dust. Doesn't explain who the man is. I, however, says Rashi, am of the opinion that it means he fastened himself on, an Aramaic word, which means they were connected. They attached. Yes, as Beth said, it was a dust-up. And the other suggestion is from the word aviku, which is another use of the word vaye'avek. It denotes intertwining, for such is the manner of two people who make strong efforts to throw each other. One clasps the other and twines himself round him with his arms. But our rabbis of blessed memory explain that he was Esau's guardian angel. What I mean to say in sharing at least three opinions that Rashi quotes and his own about what it means for Jacob to be left alone and to wrestle is that we really don't know. The suggestion that it was himself I find very compelling. Because you can wrestle, you can encounter so many things in the outside world, but there is nothing as transformative as facing yourself. There is nothing as transformative as looking into your own agency in having co-created the reality that you are in. That doesn't mean we blame victims, God forbid, but it means that growth can be helped when we take responsibility for carving our own path out. Because if we can accept responsibility for having co-created the circumstance that might be very painful, we can then think about what it is to use our agency to create a path beyond it. There will always be elements of what we've been through, but here we are being asked an essential question, because after all, what does that other ish, what does that other say? Vayomer elav ma shemecha. I'll just say angel because we're really not sure who the other is. But the angel says, what is your name? What is your name? So I'm going to ask you just for a second, not because I'm expecting a response, nor do I presume that we are all in this dust up energy. And I know because you're here that you're not alone. And I know that I'm not alone either, because we have each other. But I want to ask you, what is your name? Where do you come from? What elements of who and where you've been are within you, even if you've transcended them, even if you've carved out a healthy next step for yourself? Because knowing who I am allows for the possibility of continuing to grow. The addition of names is a powerful Jewish tradition, but often not the replacement of names. I know that my name is Menachem Yosef. That's my Hebrew name. I was named for my great-grandmother Nechama and my great-grandfather Yosef. That's where I come from. The choice of a Hebrew name in an American context means that as a child, I was always forced to reckon with my own name. And so let me simply offer as a model what this means. Friends, what this means. Here we are in a moment with our ancestor Jacob / Israel, and he is asked, what is your name? What a gift. What a powerful gift to be asked what your name is. To quote a wonderful teacher, Rabbi Neil Levinger, he has a great comment on myjewishlearning.com. I just want to read the last two paragraphs of a comment you can find on My Jewish Learning. He writes, "The right question at the right time from the right person can change a person's life, enabling them to see and understand themselves in an entirely new light. When God asks a question, it's not for the sake of an answer, but for the sake of an inner response, a change in a person. Who am I? What is the name I have made for myself? And what is the name I am capable of achieving? Just to ask the question can move us toward a better answer. Just to ask the question and thus demonstrate our capacity for growth and introspection is one of the greatest blessings we have as human beings." Friends, who are you? Who are you? What a gift it is to be in a community where questions are welcome. Who are you? Who am I? What's next? Please God, let the return of our family be next, through our work, through good decisions, and through grace. Please, God, bring them home now. Send your hearts with me to the east. Let's sing. Kol od balevav pnima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion tzofia on lo avda tikvateinu hatikva bat shnot alpayim liot am chofshi be'artzeinu eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim liot am chofshi be'artzeinu eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, my friends. Take care.